everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good to be here. Thank you, Coach Mo, Coach Vivian, Coach Ikechi, Coach Bolu, and to our amazing parents who are here. It's so nice to be here. Okay, my name is Ruth Denro. I'm a certified child and adolescent counselor, a teens coach, and I'm a certified practitioner of the family engineering systems with extensive experience in providing guidance and counseling services across various domains, including marital, educational, vocational, and social personal counseling. Okay, so presently I'm running my PhD in guidance and counseling at the University of Lagos. I'm about an award as the best graduating student when I did my master's. Okay, currently serving as the lead counselor of Better Days Counseling Services. I spearhead Better Days Teens Academy and Mentorship Program. Currently, I'm serving as the PRO of the Counseling Association of Nigeria, that's CASON Lagos State. I have 7 amazing books for preteens and teenagers. Okay, I am happily married, like happily, and then I have beautiful children. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's me for tonight. Okay, so let's do this. If you can see my slide and you can hear me, please confirm.
Yes, we can hear you and we can see your slide.
Okay, thank you. Now today, module 4, we're going to be looking at the emotions coaching, right? And in the next 25-30 minutes, we're going to be running through. So the objective here is that I'll help you recognize and manage your own emotions, identify your triggers, differentiate between various emotions. And of course, we are here because of our children, right? And we be looking at that together. Okay, so which of these have you heard someone say? And which one do you say? Which of this? I'm feeling somehow. If you do not stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about. You know how our children are crying for something that maybe they misplaced their pen, or we actually maybe hit them and they are crying. We flog them, and then at the same time we want to determine how they cry. And then you're telling the child, if you don't stop crying, I am going to give you something to cry about. So which one have we said? And which one have you even said today, dear parents? So let's go if the chat box. Let me see your comments, right? Which one have you said today? Maybe I don't really know how I'm feeling. Or your child is crying and they're like, you're crying. Hey, what happened to you that you're crying? I'm going to really beat you now so that I will know why you are crying. So which of these have we said? Or which one do you use? So I'm going to be reading the chat, messages from the chat. This is really kind of emotional coaching, but again, you're building up. Okay. Okay. Can I see anybody? Which one have we said? Today, I'm not even looking at last week or before now. Which one have we said? Okay, I think is there a message here? Okay. Okay, I think I'll just proceed, and then of course would move. Okay.
Bukade said one.
Come again.
Bukade said she had heard one. Maybe.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to see us like chat. Okay, thank you. So we just move. Okay, so every now and then, for some of us too, we get angry. We don't even know why we are angry. We get frustrated. Something has happened at work, and then we come back home. That's to be the children. Why? Because really, we can't really shout at our bosses, right? So we're going to look at how all of this plays out. So what are emotions? We hear of emotions every now and then, right? In short, when Coach Mo said something, I was like, okay, just drop the emojis, on the chat versus show how excited or how you feel right now, right? So we use emotions every now and then. When we are chatting on Facebook, on WhatsApp messages, thank God for the various emojis we have now, right? So something that we are familiar with. But what are emotions, right? So we are seeing emotions are the feelings that we have inside of us that tells us how we are doing or how we are feeling, right? So if you are happy, likely there's a likelihood that you would smile, you will laugh, right? So when you are sad, you might want to cry, you might want to be alone. So see the expression on your face, how you know either squeeze your face or smile is as a result of what is happening inside of you. So if you're sad, you're happy, you are angry, or you are scared, you know, it shows in the face. But hey, or we even act it out in our behaviors. But one key thing is it is how we are feeling inside. So just like when the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So what we feel inside of us automatically comes out of us as emotions. So emotions are like the messages from our heart and our minds. If we pay key attention to the emotions we give out, then of course we understand things that are happening around us. And this is the first assignment. Is that assignment? No, please hit. If you have a jotter, write out the emotions that each of these emojis is sharing. Right? I need us to write that. So number one is what? So write it down in your jotter or write it on the chat box, but I have to read this. Yes, so that I am sure that when we use these emojis, we know the meaning. So let's hit the chat room. But I don't want us to post it one by one. So just write number one, what do you think number one is, number two is, number three down to 14. So I'm going to giving us just 2 minutes for that. So number one is this, number two. So let's take it. Let's take it. We're looking at the emotions, right? Again, we should be able to identify various emotions. Most of us are quite happy, sad, angry. I think every other thing we think was under either you're happy, you're sad, or you're angry. But hey, we have well over 60 different emotions. Some school of thought will tell you they're over 50, right? Yes. So please, on your paper, what most importantly, I think I want to read it on the chat box. So go to the chat box, just write number one is this, number two is this, number three is this, number four is this, and let's see how many you can get. Of course, you are the one that would mark yourself at the end of the day. Okay, so we have 1 minute 20 seconds left. So let me look at the chat box now and see what we are doing. Okay, so okay. Okay. Christy said crying will not kill you. So you're allowed to try cry, right? Uh-huh. Crying will not kill you. Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, so how far have we fared? Okay, so please post your results. I'm waiting for us. Post your results, please. Post your results. Let's see. Hey, oh, hello. Post your results. Oh. I'm telling the chat box. So who has finished? So let's see wherever you stopped. Please let's post our results. Everybody. I am waiting for us. So me to pens up. let me turn to a teacher now. Pens up. Oh yeah, let's submit. I'm actually waiting for us to continue. I'm actually checking the chat box. Please let's submit. So write down the emotions that each of these emojis is showing. I think I would have to continue. Okay. Anybody saying something? You want to unmute if you are not typing? Are we here? Okay, so I will run so that we don't waste time.
We are here. The audience are not just responding.
Okay, so we'll run so that we don't waste time. Okay. So you could check, and then of course you know how many you scored, right? Okay, so number one is happy. How many of us got that? Number two is sad. Number three, the angry face. Number four, surprised. Number five, sad. Number six is confident. Number 7 is disappointed. Number 8 is loving. Number 9, tired. Number 10, nervous. 11, you know how you do like thinking. Number 12, crying. Number 13, innocent. I'm sure most of us will not get that. And then number 14 is all. Okay, hugging. Okay, so I need some persons. Okay, so these are some emotions we also have, right? Have happy, sad, angry, scared, excited, worried, embarrassed, and some of them are enjoyable, while some are not, right? So, for instance, happy, excited, grateful, hopeful, all of these are enjoyable emotions, right? So when we display any of that I've mentioned, and of course it means that something good is happening inside of us. But when, for instance, we are sad or we are angry or that we're scared or worried, then of course, again, emotions, right, tells the states of our hearts, tells us what is happening, around us. Okay. Now, food for thought. What are the most dominant emotions in your home? It's something that you want to think about. What are the most dominant emotions in your home? So in your house, amongst your children, the emotions they display, the emotions you display as a parent, which one is dominant? Are you always happy? 70% of the time, will you be worried? Will you be scared? Are your children always angry? So what are the most dominant emotions in your home? So check it. It's like you are checking the temperature you have in your house, right? So if your children are always happy, they're always smiling, and of course, well done, mommy, well done, daddy, you want to keep it up. But if they're scared, they're embarrassed, they're always feeling overwhelmed or angry, you want to check the emotional temperature in your home. That's food for thought. Then, of course, the first school of emotion for any child is the parents' marriage. I'll repeat that. The first school of emotion for any child is the parents' marriage. So, their parents, how is their emotions in your marriage? Don't say the children are too young that they don't understand what is going on. They know when their mommy is happy. They know when you are angry. They know when you fight. So what is the dominant emotion in your marriage? Has your marriage been a good school of emotions for your children or for your child? Don't forget that the emotions our children will radiate, the emotions they will show, the emotions that they will mostly display will be one, partly from what's happening in the house. So if your house is peaceful, if your house is joyful, if it's a happy place, then most of the time the emotions our children will display will be happy, will be joyful. And if we are always fighting, we are always quarreling, we are always raising our voices at our spouses, and of course that will be the dominant emotions in our children. Okay, so case study. Okay, I don't know whether I should skip this, but okay, let's try. Hopefully, somebody would have to say something this time around. Okay, so case study. Your team is working on a project at work. The final part of the project is a presentation by a representative of the team, right? You know how you're at work and you have a presentation to give. So, for instance, Shade here, who is a team member, is presenting your team in that representation, right? Then, of course, there's always another team, So there's another team closely following, and the presentation is the deciding factor for who wins the grant. Shade's been practicing for weeks for the upcoming presentation. On the day of the match, she loses her train of thoughts for only a few minutes, but the other team's participants delivered excellently with no flops. Those few minutes cost the team the grant. So please take some time to look at this case study, because the next slide you might want to screenshot this so that it helps you with the next slide. Another thing that is very rampant, of course, that we could always see is our children. want to take, for instance, a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, who overturns our food while we're not looking, and then imagine painting your walls, the table, the floor with your meals. What will your response be? These are two different cases, right? You want to eat the chat box. If you actually want to unmute to say something, of course, you are free. Okay, so for a child who messes up your house, what would you do? Now, if you are in Sade's team, Sade is part of your team member, what would you also do? Right? Think of it. So this will now be the questions following. So, how do you think? Again, don't forget that topic is emotions, right? Emotional coaching. So, how do you think Sade feels after causing the team to lose this ground? Number 2 is what might be going through Sade's mind in that moment. You can choose to answer any of the questions here. Can you identify the emotion Sade might be feeling? And if you can, why do you think so? Number 4, how do you think Sade's actions, that's using a train of thought, might affect her and others around her? What could Sade do to manage her emotions and respond positively to the situation? Number 6 will be reflecting on this experiment, experience. Can you think of a time when you were in a similar situation? How did you feel? And how did you handle it? And of course, the last question here is imagine you're in Sade's shoe. What would you do differently, if anything, to cope with the situation? So here, please just keep the chat box. I'd love to read from us. Okay. Okay, so Faith said disappointment. Yes. Of course, in that moment, she might have been disappointed in herself and then feeling bad for disappointing the whole team. Thank you, Faith, for sharing. What other emotions can we bring out from here? And then, of course, you can also respond to your child packing the house. Imagine you have swept the house or you mopped and then you just went to get something, or you're saying you want to rest for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you come back, everywhere is messy. Okay. Okay, so we're moving. I need to be admitting people. Okay, good. So, again, from that emotion, from the case study, right, we could see, of course, just like Kate has mentioned, disappointment, right? Some persons may be sad, feeling frustrated, especially you practice, so much for that presentation. You could have lost hope, right? All of these are emotions. So thank you. And then, of course, I think we'll now come into the main topic for today, emotional coaching. So when we talk about emotional coaching, what are we saying? I'm sure this is not the first time we're hearing of the emotional coaching. Some of us have heard of emotional intelligence, right? Yes. So when we talk about emotional coaching, what are we saying? We are saying that emotional coaching focuses on helping individuals to understand, manage, and express their emotions in a constructive and effective way. So when we talk about emotional coaching, we're looking at how well do you understand the emotions? That's number one, understanding. How well do you manage emotions? How well do you express your emotions? Now, the problem, for instance, with anger, it's just like every other emotion. Anger is an emotion, right? Anger in itself, it's not bad. But what we do when we are angry is what is bad, right? So, for instance, someone stepped on your feet. How you react is, it's painful. You could be angry, right? Now, if you do not understand your emotions, if you do not understand how to manage emotions, most of us, even before the person realizes that they have stepped on your toe, you would have slapped the person. Like, can't you see? Are you blind? You just stepped on me, right? But for someone who is emotionally intelligent, for someone who understands how they, how their emotions are like, how to express their emotions in a constructive way, they will react differently. Someone's hand is up. Please, you can reserve our questions, right? There will be times for questions, we promise you, right? So please write down your questions so that we don't forget or lose your thoughts, right? But it's retreated. So behind every behavior is a feeling. So before you act out a particular way, something must have happened, right? And then behind every feeling is a need. This is us taking you back to your children. So your child that is crying, that is throwing tantrums, that is not sitting down in one place, that you just feel that this type, oh no. Just like I think the moment I mentioned that our child, they do not just set out to say, no, I want to make my daddy angry today. Oh no, I must show my mommy pepper today. No. So behind every misbehavior, behind every character that is being displayed is a feeling, is a need. And once that need has been satisfied, trust me, they'll be fine. Emotional coaching, right? So what I can see your hand again. Someone is raising hand. Please would come back. Like I said, please just write your questions, right? So why do we need this emotional coaching? Why does it matter? Number one, emotional coaching would help you build trust with your children. Don't forget that everything we are saying now, of course, it affects you first as a parent, and then of course it will translate to helping your child. So help you build trust, help your child build trust. For instance, when mommy is angry, I know what to do. For instance, you come back from work. Most times we come back from work, we are tired, and the first person we want to actually want to come home, feel relaxed, and just rest. But you're exhausted from work, but you're coming home and you've not had time to sit with your children to discuss with them about how to manage your emotions or how you express emotions. And then you are not giving your children the cup of your time. They come and then you're pushing them, you're beating them, you're shouting at them. But with emotional coaching, you build trust, right? Because they understand what's happening. And you can actually also help your children regulate their emotions. Okay, so when mommy was angry yesterday, she talked about it and she took a walk. She told us, excuse me, and she went to lie down. Mommy told us to, count 1 to 10. Because you have been doing that, you get to also help them. Your kids also know that, hey, it's okay to be angry, but it is not okay to misbehave, right? It's okay to be angry, but it's okay to misbehave. So once you are emotionally intelligent, then you're helping your children. You're helping your children to regulate their emotions. And of course, it will reduce tantrums and outbursts over time. Because over time, your children will know how to regulate. I'm angry, but I'm not going to be throwing bottles. I'm angry, but I'm not going to be slamming the door. Why? Because there are other ways we can do it. There are other ways to react to our emotions. And of course, it teaches them resilience. At the end of the day, all of these will help to improve your bonding with your children. At the end of the day, yes, because there are little tantrums, there are little fights in the house, and this will help. So what are the key components of emotional coaching? Don't forget that when we talk about emotional coaching, we're looking at how you can manage, understand, and express your emotions constructively, right? Okay, so what are the components of emotional coaching? There are 5 components here. We have self-awareness, we have self-regulation, we have motivation, we have empathy, and we have social skills. Right. So what is self-awareness? What is self-awareness? For you as an adult, don't forget, it is about you recognizing your own emotions in the moment and then understanding how well they influence your thoughts, your words, and actions. So I am angry. Why am I angry? Some of us, you just get angry at your friends, you get angry at your spouses. So your spouse is asking you, Why are you angry? You're like, leave me alone. I don't know. What have I done? What have I done that to make you angry? You do not know. So how do you want to help him not to make that mistake again? Some of us will just carry our face. We are angry with our friends. Our friends do not know why we are angry because we do not even know why we are angry. You just know that you are angry. So with self-awareness, you are able to track your emotions over time. So you know that, wow, once I am tired, I am easily angry. Once I am tired, I will easily snap, right? So self-awareness. Why am I happy? I'm happy now. So why are you happy? You are laughing. Why are you laughing? It's self-awareness. So you want to look at what is happening around you to say, okay, I'm laughing because someone just told me something nice, or I just got something I want. So you should, at every point in time, be able to know why you are doing a particular thing, especially when it comes to our emotions, self-awareness. And how will this help our children? Of course, it will also help our children to know what is happening around them. So your children, they are back from school, they are frustrated. My teacher did do something today. My homework is very long, and that's why I'm angry. They know why. Self-awareness. So I'm feeling stressed now. Because I'm feeling stressed. Why are you feeling stressed? Mommy, I have plenty of homework. Or I've done this. Okay, what happened? Self-awareness, right? Helps them to know what they are feeling at a particular time, right? And because of that, they are well equipped to react, which is number 2, self-regulation. Now, once you are able to be aware at every point in time of the emotions you're feeling, the vibes you're giving, your behavior, your feelings. Don't forget your feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. It's a triangle, right? Your behavior will affect your feelings will affect your behavior will affect the way you think will affect your behavior. So it's like that. So once you are able to be self-aware, then of course you can self-regulate. And that's number 2. Components of emotional coaching. Right. So self-regulation has to do with us being able to manage strong emotions so that we do not lose control, so that we do not misbehave, so that we are not shouting, we are not just being upset unnecessarily. But hey, okay, so something has happened. I'm aware that I'm angry. Why? Because my boss maybe shouted at me. I didn't really pass my test or promotion. It could have been anything, right? But because of that, hey, I choose to be calm. I choose to breathe. I'm not going to be shouting. That's because you've understood your trigger. So why do you get angry? I get angry if you take my things without my permission. I get angry because if you misplace my item. Okay, I'll get angry if I kept my cup here and I don't come back to it. So once you set yourself aware, it helps you to regulate your emotions. And number 3 will be motivation. So when you are motivated, what happens? It helps you to stay in touch with your long-term goals. For instance, you already know that at the end of this emotional coaching, right? Don't forget that I talked about the benefits. It will help build your child's connection with you. So at the end of the day, your parents' child bonding is very important to you. So you are telling yourself, okay, if I spark now, if I'm very upset, I'm getting angry, and I do not react to it well, I will terminate the end product, which is to maintain peace and harmony, right? So, for instance, to your child has homework to do, right? He is feeling overwhelmed. This assignment is too much. And then you are telling your child, see, if you finish this homework on time, I'll give you 5 minutes play. I'll allow you play with your game. I'll go outside with you to play. Motivation. So there's something the child is looking up to. There's something you are also looking up to when it comes to motivation. Hey, I know you are frustrated, but hey, you're going to get better every time you try, right? Yeah, so that's motivation. Number 4 is empathy. And without this component of empathy, our emotional coaching will not be complete. So when we talk about empathy, what are we saying? We're just saying understand, feel, and feel and act as though you are experiencing what somebody is experiencing. Now, for instance, your child is angry. Most of us be like, what are you angry for? What is that thing that I have done? What have I said that you're angry? But if we can show empathy, it's you thinking, okay, so my child is angry. Why is she angry? Why is he angry? What must have happened to him? You're putting yourself in the person's shoe. So if I felt that if my biscuit was taken from me, how will I react? Now, because you are thinking, you're putting yourself in the other person's shoes, then of course you will not, you will not flare up. You'll be in a better position to think than reacting. With empathy, we're not just reacting, we are thinking, we are considering, we are showing compassion, right? And then it helps us. Just like let me give a very valid valid example. Your child doesn't want to share biscuits with the friend, right? And then you're saying, share that biscuit and don't be stingy. But hey, just put yourself in yourself's shoe, that if I was this person, would I want to share? Now, because you are thinking with that person's mindset, and of course you can see life from the other person. So lastly, for emotional coaching, we have social skills. Hey, of course, you have to learn how to resolve conflicts. Some of us do not know how to resolve conflicts. Every conflict we have with our spouse, with our friends, must end in quarrel, must end in disaster. We do not know how to build positive relationships. We are not communicating well, right? Once we are able to resolve conflicts, because conflict will always be there. We are from different backgrounds. We do not have the same mindset in all things, right? So conflict has to exist where 2 or 3 people are, right? But when you're able to manage conflicts, resolve conflict, you are teaching your children how to resolve conflicts also. So instead of shouting, instead of breaking tables, you're like, okay, no, negotiation skills, right? So how can we do this better? What better way can we do this? Right. Okay. And then we move to ways as parents that we damage the emotions of our children. Right. For some of us parents, dismissive response. A child comes to you and his child is angry. Right? Your child is angry. And instead of you to say, listen to the child, empathy, right? You just flare. You just flare like, what's that? Is that enough for you to be crying? Please leave my front. Dismissing. You did not validate the child's feelings. You did not say, okay, I can see what is happening to you. But most times, the response we give as parents to our children, it's how we were also parented. So if as a child, when you were small, for everything, maybe you complain to your mom and as you're coming, your mom will say, get up from me, go and cry there, or they're even beating you for crying. Like, you're crying and we beat you. You too would most likely have a dismissive response, right? For disapproving, you are saying that you do not have the right to cry. Dismissive is get out from here, get out from here. Disapproving, like, that's nothing, you are crying. No. So imagine that is how, and don't forget that when we display emotions, it's as a result of what's inside of us, right? So when we are disapproving, and of course we'll also raise teenagers, adolescents who are not kind-hearted. Why? I mean, if I'm not allowed to say how I feel, then of course nobody should be allowed to, right? And then laissez-faire, they don't even care. Like, you cry or you don't cry, you're on your own, they just abandon you there, right? And that's 3 different ways that our parents damage our emotions. But here we can actually be emotionally smart, we can actually be emotionally intelligent. Now, how do we manage our emotions? I'm going to just rush over these because some of these have been repeated in that. Steps to emotional management, awareness, right? So when you are aware of your emotions, and of course you're looking at your child's body language. So your child is coming to you, your child is crying. At times your child could even be smiling, but you know that deep down that smile is not smart. This is not your child, right? So awareness. My child is angry. My child is not happy. My child is not smiling. You have to be aware at every point in time. You have to be aware of the emotions the child is feeling. So you're looking at their tone of voice, you're looking at if they are withdrawing, if they are restless, if they are crying. Emotional management, right? Number one, you have to be aware. Number two, you have to understand the emotions. So why are you crying? So what has happened? What has led to it? Right? So you're not seeing it as a bit of this child is disturbing you. No, so try to understand. So what's happening with you? Right? So why are you feeling this way? That's number two. Number three, connect. So your child comes and your child is crying. You want to connect with that child. You want to make the child say, Mommy is here, I can see you, I can hear you, you are safe, right? And then you see it as a means to bond with them, right? And then number four, you label. So what is the emotion? You can be frustrated without being angry. You can be depressed. You can show different emotions, right? So once I'm angry, anger is anger. So why you label it? So you name it to tame it. So don't just have a child come to you and you're not able to help that child to name what he or she is feeling. So what are you feeling at the moment? You label it. Don't just cry and children. So, how exactly are you feeling? Are you frustrated? Are you worried? Are you scared? Or have you been embarrassed? So you have to label it. Number five, like I discussed, empathize. Just validate the child's feeling. I'm so sorry you're feeling this way, right? So what has happened? What better way would have happened? And then number six, let's look at how we can, come out of this emotions well. So what has happened? Problem solved. What are other alternatives, right? That we can work on now instead of crying and shouting. Can you count from 1 to 10? Can you pace up on that? In my book, Taming the Monster, yes, I wrote a book, Taming the Monster. It helps children. It's A to D on managing anger, right? Yeah. So if you have a child who has issues with anger, you want to get that, and then reflect and learn. Most of us, we will repeat what we have been doing before if we do not reflect. And how do we reflect? Journal. You want to write. You want to write out the way you feel at this point in time. So, for instance, if you cannot trace why you are always angry or why you are disappointed, you want to write, right? You want to write it down. So, yesterday I felt one way, one kind. What happened? Somebody stepped on me. So you should know that. So anytime somebody steps on you, there's a feeling you have, you want to write it down, right? So you're happy. It could be everything. So you'd have to reflect, you'd have to learn, because without reflecting, you truly do not learn. And you'd have to teach your children too. So for every time something happens to them, they would have to reflect on it. Keep a journal, you can keep a jar, just to write. Because the more you write, the more you know yourself, the more there is no piled emotions in you, right? So those are steps to managing emotions. And here, do you want to really go back home, right? And then think about these questions. What emotions do you struggle with the most? What did you believe about emotions when you were a child? And how has this affected your parent-child connection? Like I said, most of us, when we were small, they did not born you to cry. You like, so you are crying that I beat you, or you're crying that, how they flog you, you're crying and they'll tell you, pin, like you will hold your mouth. You would cry. You say you beat the baby and then you're telling the baby, you want to choose how, the baby's expressing the cry. So you would cry, and you'll be crying inside your heart. You'll be like, yes. So if most of us, while growing up, we are not able to air our views, talk about how we feel inside, there's not likely that that's the same thing you're doing to your child. And you're not going to raise an emotionally smart child if you do not deliberately work on your own emotions. Then, of course, the last question here is, what emotions do you wish your child does not express? And how can you now begin to co-regulate this emotion with your child? Now, don't forget that most times, the emotions our children are giving out most times is from their home environment, like I said before now, right? So if your child is always very angry, and though you want to say, I wish if my child is not as angry as they used to be, then you would have to start with yourself. You have to look into the mirror and tell yourself, so when I'm angry, how do I react? Do I scatter things? Do I beat them? Do I shout at them? Because if you do that to them, then of course that is what they will do in return, right? And then finally, in conclusion, you do not need to be a perfect parent. Oh no, you do not. You do not need to be a perfect parent. You just need to be present, and you just need to be emotionally safe one, right? So just be present. You do not even have to have the words to say to them, but give them a listening ear. Let them tell you how they feel. Let them be able to express their heart. If a child is angry, let them express it. But then you're telling them, okay, so this is how to express anger. Hey, it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to misbehave. It's okay to be angry, but you cannot just destroy things, right? You just have a present and an emotionally safe one by becoming emotionally intelligent yourself. Okay? I think this is where I want to end this very session. Okay, so thank you for listening to module 4. Thank you. Please, if you have questions, right? I think we take all of the questions together at the end of today, right? So that we do not yes, overgo there, because I'm sure if you start taking questions, we'll not finish this today. Are we with me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear
We
you.
can hear you, Coach.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Well done, the end of our
well done.
session. So now let's go to module